Right, well that was at midnight. Midnight.
Midnight, the Socialist Club meeting ends. The members, mainly Jewish men, gradually begin to leave the club in little groups or alone.
The American goes out for some air, no one is in the street.
12:20 a.m. The American leaves the Socialists Club for some fresh air. The street is deserted.
Okay. 12:40. Mr. Eagle walks by.
12:40 a.m. Eagle, the president of the club, enters the workers' club via the passageway through Dutfield's yard. He passed through Dutfield's yard. If Liz Stride had already been killed, he would have had to walk over her. The murder, therefore, had not yet happened.
I should probably throw this in. This is okay. Oh, you're actually giving me a time.
12:30 to 12:35 a.m. Smith notices Liz Stride talking to the man with the package.
Yes. 12:43.
12:43 a.m. Israel Swartz passes by Dutfield's yard and witnesses the attack on Liz Stride.
Well, no, well, not exactly, but
12:44 a.m. Schwartz crosses to the other side of the road. The attacker sees him and yells, "Lipsky." The attacker must have shouted to his accomplice at the end of the road, "Lipsky," indicating at Schwartz using his head in an attempt to scare off this undesirable.
12:45.
12:45 a.m. Schwartz runs away, followed for a short distance by this man.
At 1. Daimschutz wants to enter with his cart pulled by pony.
1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz wants to enter with his cart, but the pony refuses. We know that the murder took place between 12:45 and 1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz, therefore, must have disturbed the killer. Let's place Liz Stride's murder on the timeline, Watson.
Not sure that makes sense, but alright. Yes, it's just putting it in the gap. Somewhere there.
12:45 to 1 a.m. The murder of Liz Stride. It took place in this very spot, as the traces of blood were very confined. We will come back to this point in a few moments to elaborate on what could have happened. Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
Right.
This door leads to the club for Jewish socialist workers.
Yes. Ah, there's...
Watson, imagine the victim laid down there on the ground. Her left hand, it is closed around a bag of pastils. Her right hand, it is bloody, as is her wrist.
Okay, well that goes there.
The throat, there is but one clean cut, slightly slanted downwards.
Okay. Oh, it's just kind of coloration on the art. A. Go on. Oh no, that's just again, it's just colouring. Only on this
Her
hand.
left hand, it is... Her right hand, it is bloody, as is her wrist.
Well, what am I meant to do now then? Like, it's obviously something I'm missing then. Can I take her hat off? Clearly not. She's bled out there. That's not relevant.
The throat, there is but one clean cut, slightly slanted downwards.
Right. I want deductions. Put a hand to her throat. What? That makes no sense. Had her hand cut. Okay, no, because none of those are right, so... Thin, okay. Clean, starting from the right and slightly oblique and descending. Right, so that's the right hand. Oh, hello. Okay, there was only one wound, and it proved to be mortal. Going down, so... Struck below, I would say. strong, I'd say. Although, strong man. Right, so he's right-handed. Although there's other things I'm missing apparently. Randomly click on things. Can't interact with pastels.
The ground is muddy.
Really? There's still something else to find.
Her knees and dress, they are clean.
Alright, there we go. Ground is dirty, but knees and bottom of the dress are clean. Didn't struggle on the ground. Killed upright. You'd probably say that's wrong, actually. Actually, that's what I'm thinking with the blows and everything. Standing. Killer is taller. What? Approximately the same height. No, taller. Okay. Killed upright. Didn't struggle on the ground. Because knees and bottom of the dress at the front are clean. Lying down. No, well, you could say that, but no, that doesn't make any sense. But this is... Right, blow is given from the right hand, so we know that this is right because this follows there. So only one wound. Proved to be mortal. From below... Oh, no, from above. That was that. Didn't struggle on the ground. And that's still wrong. I misunderstood that. Murder struck the blow from above because it's going downwards. Whereas if it was going... I'm trying to think. I think it'd probably be easier to pull it across. Would it be easy to pull it down? Actually, that's a very good point, actually. From below. So that means he's shorter than her. No, he isn't. His height.
We have two possibilities. The first is that Liz Stride's killer and the attacker, seen by Schwartz, were one and the same man. The second is that Liz Stride meets a client. After some discussion, they head towards Dutfield's yard to do their business. As soon as they arrive, the attacker appears while his accomplice keeps watch. Schwartz's arrival dissuades the two men from lingering. They leave the area and leave Liz Stride in a tense state, but glad to have kept her client. He will be her murderer. Both hypotheses are possible, but an incongruous detail will serve to corroborate one of them. An incongruous detail that we were able to establish regarding the Hanbury Street murder. Which one would that be, Watson? Look at the victim carefully, Watson, and tell me the link between the murder of Liz Stride and those of Nichols and Chapman.
I beg your pardon?
Look at the victim carefully, Watson, and tell me the link.
What's the link? She had a throat cut.
No, that's not it.
Okay. The pastels.
The bag of pastels, Holmes.
The bag of pastels. Indeed, Watson. If this woman had to defend herself against an attacker, why would she have held onto this bag in her hand? It didn't fall because this woman's hand tensed at the moment when she fell to the ground. Therefore, Watson, we know the killer distracted his victim's attention by making them take something out of their pockets. Why didn't he slit her throat like the others? He must have feared a struggle with this strong-willed woman. Why didn't he eviscerate her? Because Louis Diemschutz arrived.
Do you think the Whitechapel killer is behind this murder, Holmes?
Yes, and now this murder has been linked to its rightful perpetrator, it will take on deeper meaning when we have examined the facts from that night. Let's go to Mitre Square, where Catherine Eddowes was killed. And make haste, Watson, as we have another murder to commit in 40 minutes.
What?
Here we are, Watson. Mitre Square. It took us a mere 20 minutes to get
Oh,
here.
I see.
If the killer left Dudfield's yard around 1 o'clock, as we assume, he would have arrived here at around 1:20 a.m. We
okay.
know that
Makes
Catherine
sense.
Edow's body was discovered at 1:44 a.m. Catherine was released from prison around 1 o'clock, but we have no information as to what she could have been doing until her death. This place has 3 possible ways out. Let's see where they lead. As a precaution, I brought an old map of the area with me. It will help us get our bearings.
Let's hurry, Holmes. This neighborhood makes me ill at ease.
Right, Imperial Club, Synagogue, oh dear, Mitre Square. So we've got this one to, I can't read it, one to Mitre Street, one Church Passage, and the other one's illegible, or I can't read it.
Church Passage. It must be opposite the Imperial Club at 16 to 17 Duke Street. Let's go to the end of this lane, Watson.
So what is here then?
Hello, you must be Abraham Solomonovich, am I right?
Yes, that's me. But I know you. You brought a lad to my place to take care of a cat, and I loaned you my mask.
That's me. May I present?
Dr. Watson, of course. Delighted. And you? I have known for a few days that you are a detective by the name of Sherlock Holmes. Is that so?
You don't miss a thing, do you? It was the children who gave me away, am I right?
They didn't want to, but I gained their confidence by offering them a small comb and half a cake.
They made a good deal out of it, so I don't blame them. However, I must request, as a personal favor, that you do not reveal my identity.
You have my word. Curiosity is just killing me, as you may have guessed. Would it be breaking an oath to confide in me the nature of the investigation that you are leading?
I really don't like this. Like, this is the second person who's seen him in a disguise who's gone, "Hey, you're Sherlock Holmes. You were the guy before." Like, Holmes is this great detective, this great disguise person, actor, to some extent. Ugh. Alright, Church Passage.
Does this spot where we are now in Mitre Square mean anything to you?
A demon lives in this city, Mr. Holmes. These unmentionable acts degrade the human race and put the Jewish community in terrible danger.
Lots of rumors are circulating, but they are but rumors. I see you're leaving the Imperial Club. It's a stone's throw away from Mitre Square, and the 2 recent murders were most probably discussed in there. Do you know if anyone from the club saw or heard anything that night?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. That night, 3 members of our club saw a woman talking to a man at the very spot where we are standing, a few minutes before the body was found at the end of this passage. Fantastic, Holmes.
Why?
Calm yourself, Watson. There is nothing at the moment to suggest it was the victim.
Exactly.
Can we meet these members?
I am afraid that won't be possible. As soon as the police heard the evidence of these men, they were sworn to silence.
I understand.
But you are working for the good, and I must tell you what I know. One of the 3 men, my friend Joseph, left that night with 2 other members of the Imperial Club, Harry and another Joseph. It was around 1:35 a.m., perhaps a bit earlier. When Joseph, not my friend, but the other, the Aldgate butcher, exited, he saw a man and a woman in discussion at this very spot where we are.
These men must have been about 16 feet away from the couple.
That's about right. So Joseph, the butcher, said to the other 2, while pointing at the couple, "Look, I don't like going home alone when I see this kind of people here." My friend Joseph looked at them without noticing anything strange and didn't understand what he meant. They had the look of Two rather unkempt people, but no more than that.
Right, the testimonies.
After the murder, did these three men tell the police what they had seen?
Not quite. Harry stated that he hadn't seen the couple. As for Joseph, the butcher, even though he was the one who commented on them and pointed them out, said that he couldn't remember anything except that the man was about 3 inches taller than the woman, who was 5 feet tall, no more. My friend Joseph, on the other hand, did his best to cooperate with the police.
But didn't really see much. A description.
And what did your friend Joseph say? What did this man and woman look like?
The man must have been 30 years old, about 5 foot 7 inches, light complexion, and a fair moustache. He wore a loose, dark jacket, a grey cap, and a red scarf around his neck. But he said that he only saw him for a brief instant, and it would be impossible to recognize him.
And the woman?
He only saw her from behind. She had her hand on the man's stomach and seemed to be pushing him. He said that he remembered that she was small, was wearing a black jacket and a black bonnet. After his testimony, the police took him to see the clothing of the deceased, and Joseph said that they looked identical to those of the woman he had seen. Like I already said, he only glanced at the two, as he was headed with the others in the direction of Aldgate.
One final question. The Imperial Club is a Jewish club, isn't that correct?
Indeed.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Solomonovich.
Bah, it was nothing. We must at all cost prevent this demon from striking again, and the police seem to have some difficulty in doing that. I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Holmes.
Right, okay.
Closed.
That makes sense.
This building is the Great Synagogue of London.
Okay. So... Okay. Murder happened around here is what we know. Hang on, there's another way out over there. Let's have a look down this way.
This is Mitre Street, from where Watkins, the constable who found the body, came. I have no reason to go that way.
Okay. Okay, so that is the other exit. I was getting it wrong.